Good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to be doing another little cleanup dish. So by that I mean literally a dish that I try to make to clean up some leftovers in the fridge, which in this case were mainly some brown mushrooms that I had left over. We found some turkey breast on sale in the supermarket. Furthermore, I have some leftover cream, as I usually do, a bit of creme fraiche. I always have on hand some fresh made demi glaze from chicken stock, onion, garlic, which you should always have on hand, and some nice good French mustard. We'll be trying to make a little turkey in a mustard based sauce. Now without further ado, let's get cooking. I thought we'd start off with something very basic, namely how to dice an onion. I know you've probably seen this a few thousand times, but since I'm the internet expert, let's go ahead and show it anyway. Basic technique. Now I won't be using the full onion for today, probably just the smallest half. But the basic technique is really very simple. As you can see, the onion has rings, which we can use to our advantage. And we basically want to be cutting our onion lengthwise, turn it over, turn it widthwise. And as you see, good cooking or good cutting technique allows me to basically cook without the point of the knife ever leaving the cutting board. This takes care that basically I can keep my knife a lot sharper for a lot longer. How is to dice some garlic? Even easier. You basically crush it with the side of the knife and repeat the same process. In this case I'm going to chop a little finer, but we chop lengthwise, turn over, cut widthwise, and I'm just going to try and, there we go, get it all together and chop it even a little finer. So this will be about what I want. Now we can start simmering this over some heat and adding some spices. Our onions and garlic is starting to simmer, and I will be adding some spices, but not too much, some herbs. In this case some very fresh, or some dry thyme rather. I have no more fresh thyme since unfortunately all my thyme sprigs in the garden wilted, but no matter. A good bit of thyme. And I wanted to actually add some grain mustard, but unfortunately I found out that I don't have any left. But just to add some graininess, I will be adding a good teaspoon of mustard seeds to the mix as well. A dish like this, especially since we're going to be cooking with a lot of mustard, I would not really consider putting too many spices because, well, the mustard is going to overpower it all. But this will probably just give a little bit of a spicy flavor. We're going to let this simmer till they go, or till the onions glaze over, and we can continue cooking. Everything's simmering away, so we've already added the mushrooms, and it's now time to add our turkey. We're just going to let the turkey get some color, so let it go brown for about 5 to 6 minutes, after which we can start with deglazing our pot and basically continue adding our liquid to make our sauce. As you can see, our meat has gotten some color. The meat and the mushroom have started losing some moisture, but that's just flavor. One thing I do want to add is just a little sip of, not to deglaze, but just to provide some nice acidity to balance things, some wine. And as I mentioned, we will be adding some homemade demi-glaze. This is nothing more than just, well, homemade chicken stock, which we will tackle in another project, another video. But some homemade chicken stock, which you basically reduce down to nothing, or a gelatinous form. It's a much healthier and much more flavorful way of making stock, and basically you can keep it for a few months in the fridge as is. Now we will just be adding some good old-fashioned mustard, in this case famed French Maille, one of my favorite brands, and I will be adding a few good spoonfuls. It is a mustard sauce after all. There is nothing left for us here just to cover up our pot, leave this to simmer for about 30 minutes, and we can go out about, in that case, adding the cream and binding our sauce. Our stew, as you can see, is nearly done. I've added a little bit of creme fraiche at the end of the cooking time, so that we do have some creaminess. But I wanted to finish the sauce and bind the sauce with actually a very classical technique, which is called a liaison. Now this is nothing more than just, what we have here is just a dollop of cream, and what we're going to add is, in this case, our chicken decided to grace us with a lovely double egg yolk egg. And we will basically just mix this together and add to our sauce. Now, I love using this technique in creamy sauces because the egg basically provides, there we go, an other dimension of creaminess, if I should call it like that. But it makes for a very creamy taste and very creamy mouthfeel. Now, the only secret, as we've seen before, if you're working with egg yolks, we do want to bring this up to, let's just say, just before boiling. We want the egg to solidify somewhat, but we don't want the egg to boil. If we boil, we're going to get scrambled eggs in there, and we don't want that. So we just keep this on a low heat for just about 2-3 minutes, and the magic is already starting to happen. The sauce is starting to thicken up, and this is going to provide for, as I said, a lovely creamy taste and a lovely creamy mouthfeel. Now, we're ready for dinner. So as you can see, I've served this with a little bit of a salad with some basic rucola and some of the last tomatoes from the garden, some potato balls, and that'll be basically about it. Just serve, have a good beer, and enjoy.